In this video I want to talk about early season riding hazards. Hey everybody, what is going on? If you're new here and you haven't met me yet, my name is Andrew. This is my YouTube channel, Touring Midwest. We're also on Facebook and Instagram if you'd like to check us out there. Here I highlight the Midwest from a biker's perspective. So if you want to know where to find the best burgers and brews, best roads to ride in the area and things to do and see. If you are interested in motorcycles and you want to know about products and gear reviews and installs and all that kind of fun stuff, then consider hitting that subscribe button if you would and ring the bell. It won't cost you a thing, but it'll keep you up to date and notified every time I upload a new video or go live. In this video, I'm going to cover 5 things pertaining to early season motorcycle riding. Specifically here in the Midwest area, because there's not really an early season in some of the southern states. They can ride year round and they don't get the weather and stuff that we do up here. So this video kind of pertains to that. So if you're a newer rider in general, or if you're a new rider here in the Midwest, maybe you moved here over the winter and you're really just itching to get out on your motorcycle, these are some things that should definitely be considered, and some of them can apply to people riding everywhere. Maybe you've got a trip planned through the area in the early season. These are some definite things to pay attention to. Alright, first thing is first. I want to talk about Mourning Ice, black ice. This is deadly if you're not paying attention, and it's something to really consider in the early season. Now, maybe you've looked at the forecast and it's going to be 50 or 60 degrees in the afternoon. That's great. But I would encourage you, if you don't already have a weather app on your phone, to do that. And pay close attention to what was the temperature overnight, what's the temperature now, what's it going to be in the afternoon, what's it going to be on my way home. Am I going to have to worry about rain or sleet or anything on the way home from work? Pay attention to that. But specifically, early mornings. Now, I've noticed this on my way to work before. There was a few years ago, I was just itching to get out, and the forecast was going to be about 60 degrees on this one February 28th or something like that. And I was like, I need to get out and make a moto vlog. I'm riding to work. So I didn't really think about the temperature when I left in the morning. I had a few things to run in the morning before work, so I did that. And I'm riding along and I'm just thinking, it feels kind of swirly. It don't feel quite right. I think it's slippery out here. I'm pretty sure it is. And on my way to work, I thought, now if it's going to be icy anywhere, this spot is always bad because it's an open area and wind's blowing across there, and it's just always slippery in the winter. I start slowing down to make my turn onto the work road, and I'm slowly putting on my brakes because I'm pretty concerned about it at this point. And sure enough, oh yeah, that's ice. Yeah, that was slippery. As soon as the brakes started touching the wheels, the bike kind of locked up. It started sliding and going back and forth a little bit. I managed to keep the bike up and made my turn, and I was safe and fine, but that's because I was prepared for it, at least somewhat. But this is very important and something that you should definitely watch out for. The second thing I want to talk about is other drivers. Now, this is something that we always have to watch out for, no matter where we're riding, because for the most part, other drivers are just not watching out for us at all. People are in a hurry, they're trying to get to work, they're distracted, they're messing with their stereo, texting or checking their email or whatever on their phones. They're trying to do business in one hand and eat their morning McMuffin in the other hand, and they're steering with their knees. You guys have seen it all. Obviously, you know what I'm talking about. I think it's especially important to pay attention to other drivers during early season riding. Here in Minnesota, we go 5 or 6 months without riding. You don't see a motorcycle on the road, and drivers are not used to looking for us whatsoever. They've spent the last 5 or 6 months just trying to keep their car between the lines and on the road. So that's still where their mind is. They haven't heard a motorcycle, they haven't seen a motorcycle, they're not thinking about us at all. Absolutely imperative to be on your game more than ever during early season motorcycle riding. The third one is sand in the roads, especially around turns and corners. Very, very important. We've had several months where they have just been dumping sand everywhere so people have traction and can stay on the roads. I often think it's funny because in the winter we're begging for sand because it is an icy, slippery mess around here, and we're just trying to stay out of the ditches. And then as soon as it starts warming up, we're just itching for a good rainstorm to wash that sand off the road. We're just hoping that the street cleaners come out and start getting rid of that sand, because we do not want, that's like riding your motorcycle on ball bearings, right? It's incredibly slippery and very, very dangerous when you're going straight. Not to mention when you're trying to make a turn or go around a curve. Very, very important to watch out for sand. A lot of times around curves, they're going to put a lot of sand there because they don't want people sliding off. And that's the deadliest area to watch out for when you're on a motorcycle, because you get into that lean and you hit some sand in the road and your bike is going to go right out from under you if you're not prepared for it. Especially if you're new to riding and you haven't gotten comfortable with pulling your bike out of something like that. And even people who have been riding for years and years and years fall victim to accidents like this that are hard to avoid, and they're not paying attention or whatever. So many things can go wrong. It might not even be your fault. You might be doing everything right, but it's very important to watch out for sand in the road. Number 4 is surprise snowstorms. Now this is going to be more for if you're actually doing a trip. Maybe you're really gunning to get out there, or maybe you're just traveling on a big road trip and it's time to make your way across the Midwest. It is imperative that you keep an eye on the forecast. Last week we had 2 days where it was about 70 degrees. All of the snow was melted. It was absolutely beautiful. Motorcycles were out in spades. And 2 days after that we had a huge snowstorm come through. Rain, sleet, snow, crazy wind, gusts up to 70 miles an hour. That lasted for 3 days. Just wreaked havoc. Power lines down all over the place. Power line poles just snapped like toothpicks. It was an absolute disaster around here. So even when you think things are looking really good, always be watching that extended forecast. Find a local weather channel to watch, whatever, but always be prepared for what's happening. And you don't want to be riding in that. And the final thing on my list is, like I said, not necessarily so much of a hazard, but something to be cautious of. And that is the salt and chemicals that we put down on our streets and roads and highways here in the Midwest. Now, it's not really dangerous like sand is. It's not going to affect your riding so much, but it's going to leave a residue over the road. And whether it's wet or dry, your tires are going to kick that up. It's going to get all over any metal on your bike. So if you do any riding in the area and you're concerned about your motorcycle at all, that salt and those chemicals will wreak havoc on your metal and paint. And if you don't know rust, once it starts, it's pretty much impossible to stop. And it's going to eat right through your paint and metals on your motorcycle. So it's very important that after every ride, until there's been a really good rain, you clean your bike thoroughly, especially the lower portions of your bike. Your frame, your fenders, your engine area, especially like your oil pan, your transmission pan, things like that. Make sure that is very clean, because it takes no time at all for that rust to set in and just start destroying your motorcycle, and you definitely don't want that. So there you have it, kind of my 5 tips for early season riding hazards. I hope you enjoyed it. If there's any that I missed or anything that you've thought of, leave those in the comments down below so we can start a conversation down there. If this video was helpful for you at all, please give it a like. Again, don't forget to subscribe and ring the bell. It won't cost you a thing, but it's going to keep you up to date and notified every time I upload a new video or go live. You don't want to miss that. Another easy way to subscribe is to hit the Touring Midwest icon right here. And if you'd like to see another video from Touring Midwest, check out this video right here. And right here is a video that YouTube thinks you might like. That's going to do it. Stay safe out there as always, and I will catch you in the next video from Touring Midwest.